All right guys, so we got the bikes down here at Cedar Creek. We come down here to go for the first trail ride of the year with the electric bikes. It's been winter time and the snow's been flying if you've seen some of my other videos, and today's a very nice day, supposed to hit like 60 some degrees, so very excited to get out for our first ride of the year, first ride of the season. Got the new Rambo cruiser bike here and got the Lectric step through, my wife's bike. Today's video is gonna be just about this trail ride. We're going to talk about both of these bikes a little bit, some of the differences that I've noticed initially right off the bat between the two bikes, and pretty much just show you guys some of the features of the Rambo cruiser bike. And if you guys haven't seen any other of my other videos or anything about the Lectric step through, maybe some things about it as well. If you want to know anything about any of the Lectrics, check out my playlist. I'll leave a link down below in the description of all my videos to it. And also, this bike rack that I'm using here is the Overdrive Sport 4 bike rack, but I only have it configured for 2 bikes currently because I have my son's bike in the back. But actually, let me take this all the way off. Usually this is how I do this. I take these completely off because it makes it easier to load and unload the inside bike here. But if you take that all the way off, then you could fold this down and it makes it a lot easier to get this bike off. Just like that, real easy. Don't even have to really lift it. But anyway, that's the Overdrive Sport. You can get the 4 bike rack or the 2 bike rack. I'll leave links below in the description of this rack, along with all the e-bike accessories that I have on the Lectric. And some of the ones that I've put on here so far are the cell phone holder. If you guys seen my community post, these are a great deal currently for $5 a piece, so don't miss that deal out. Check them out in the Amazon affiliate store that I'll link below. And then I was able to use the B-sole bag that I've used on my Lectric on this, fits perfectly. One thing I wanted to talk about real quick, let me pull this over here next to the Lectric. So as you guys can see, one of the main differences that I've noticed so far is the Lectric comes with a rack and fenders, which is awesome. For $899, it comes with the rack and fenders. You don't have to buy it additionally. Now, one downfall about this bike, it is $2,000 initially, originally I should say, but currently they have the silver model one sell for $1,400. I didn't pay that for these. I got a great deal on this bike, but that's just one thing. If you do spend the extra money for it, it does have a mid-drive motor, which is cool. We'll talk about that either maybe later in this video or in a future video, but it does not come with fenders. You have to buy them separately, which is about $70 maybe for the pair. And they kind of look cheap from what I've seen online from the pictures. And they do sell a rack for the back, but it is $100 just for that rack. So you are gonna have about $170 to $200 just to add the fenders and a rack to this. And I'll show you guys here partly a solution to putting a rack on here that you can use on any bike. And it does work with some bags, it just will not work with a set of panniers. This thing here, I think it's made by Ebike. If I could find a link to it, I'll put a link to this as well in the description. But we bought this initially for my son's bike to use on back of his Trek. But this thing goes on really nicely on the seat post here. And you could use it instead of buying that $100 rack. Now this thing is a little pricey as well, but
$50 to $60.
Yeah, like maybe, I think somewhere around 60. I think we might have paid closer to 70 or something for this one at a bike shop, but it works pretty well for throwing a bag on the back of any bike. You can mount it to a seat post. However, like I said, with this bike rack, you can't fold panniers down. It would hit your rims or hit your tires. You would need something with a bar coming down, or a set of bars like this, so that if you had a bag with panniers, they would fold down. Like I'm going to put on my wife's bike here, my Rock Bros bag, and when you fold these panniers down, they do rest against theirs, and they work very well. So you'll see here, if we needed to put the panniers down, you can put them down. You can see it won't hit the rear tire, and that gives you a lot of extra storage there. So just keep that in mind if you do go with a bike rack on the back like this one, that it will work. And if you're a minimalist and just carry your necessity tools you need or whatnot, then this will work. But me, I like to go overkill, especially doing YouTube. I have to have camera gear, accessories. I carry an extra tube, bike pump, all that stuff, because I like to be prepared. So I like to have the extra storage of the Rock Rose bag, and this will be down in the description as well. But so basically, yes, that bike's a lot more money, but I got to tell you, initially, if you see my first video, I didn't know how happy I was with it, but I got to tell you, there is a pretty good advantage on one thing on that bike, and that's the mid-drive motor and the torque that it has. So I'm going to be pretty excited to show you guys the hill test on that whenever I get around to doing that. That's going to be a separate video probably in its own, but with that being said, I haven't really had any issues with the hub motor. You do just have to pedal some more so you don't burn anything out, but it has been a great bike, and for the price, you are not going to beat the $899 price of these bikes with free shipping. A lot of people have commented on a lot of my other videos about, you know, you get what you pay for, those are cheap bikes, this and that. I got to tell you, there's been thousands and thousands of happy customers with these bikes, and do I think this is worth over double the price? In my opinion, at $2,000, no, I do not. I don't think it's worth $2,000 when you can get something like this for $899. I just want to put that out there, but I am really liking this bike. It's really sleek looking. I really love the matte finish of the black and just how it's like all blacked out. And it is a really nice bike and some other cool features. So we'll talk about some of that more later on our ride, but let's go ahead, go on a ride and enjoy this beautiful day. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so and stick around for some future videos. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment below. It really helps my channel out. So let's get into this ride. All right, now one thing I wanted to mention is the noise of this motor, this mid-drive, is very, very quiet. It's unbelievably quiet compared to the hub motor. And you'll see here, I don't know if you'll be able to hear it because it's so quiet, but I'm gonna go ahead and shift up through into PAS 5. When I shift down in the first gear, let's go up into 5 first. This is 5, nice gradual increase in speed. And you can't hear that motor whatsoever. I mean, it's very, very quiet. Going about 15 miles per hour right now. Very nice and quiet. And another thing I wanted to show you that's pretty neat, I always wondered how mid-drives would shift because it puts your power through your chain basically because the motor is up front in your cranks. And I'll show you here that whenever you shift, it pretty much pauses the power of your motor for a split second and it allows your derailleur to shift into gear. So when you're putting a lot of tension on your pedals when you're pedaling, or basically when the motor's putting a lot of tension on that chain because it's driving your chain, as soon as you shift, which I don't know how it knows because there's no sensor on the shifter or on the derailleur, it has to be on the cable somewhere. When I figure it out, I'll let you guys know. But watch this, whenever you shift gears, it'll pretty much pause the power of the motor as you shift. So, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. So very, very smooth. Very, very smooth. So let's go back down in the first here. Or I'll leave it in PAS 5 in gear 1 and you might be able to hear the motor because it's going to be spinning really fast. So you can hear it a little bit now. But as I shift, it pauses that motor and just shifts right in nice and smooth. Pretty amazing, pretty nice. All right guys, so we just rode a few miles and we're at our first stop. So I just wanted to go over a few things that I've noticed on the Rambo. So the first thing I noticed is the PAS levels are 1 through 5, just like the Lectrics. But what's different about that is each increment 1 through 5 is 20% increase on the motor. So PAS 1 is 20% power, PAS 2 is 40, and whatnot up until 100%, which is PAS 5. Now the speed in PAS 1 was not the same as my wife's bike because she usually drives in PAS 1 on her Lectric step through. The Rambo seemed to be a little faster. However, I had it turned up to 25 miles per hour in the settings, and that made PAS 1 way too fast to match her speed. What I did was I turned it down to 15 miles per hour for the max speed on the Rambo in the settings, and now PAS 1 matches her PAS 1 almost perfectly. I can ride side by side with her, which is a pretty cool feature. I hope later on in the future, maybe in the next bike, Lectric, hopefully will give you an update where you can control your PAS settings a little bit more. You can, to some extent, control how torquey the Lectric is and how gradual the speed increases or decreases on the PAS levels in the settings. However, you can't control the max speed of those settings. And one negative that I noticed that I'm not too fond of is the display is, I don't know if you could see this in the video, but the display is very hard to see out in the daylight. Now at nighttime I noticed I did not have any issues, or if I cover it, it does, you can see it pretty easily then, but in the daylight it is very, very hard to see the reading on there. It doesn't matter if you adjust it up to 100% brightness or not, it still is hard to see during daylight. And also, like I said in my initial first look, this display pretty much lays flat. You can't angle it towards you even to get that glare off of it. So it is kind of hard to read that display when you're traveling during the daytime in bright sunlight like today. So one thing though that I really got to say, I do like the way that the mid-drive is working on this bike. This is the first mid-drive I've had. Now there is no torque sensor, but it is a cadence sensor mid-drive, which means basically on a torque sensor mid-drive, the more you push on the pedals, the more power it gives you. This one just knows that you're turning the pedals pretty much just like the Lectric, and it kicks in that mid-drive. It is a more gradual power, if that makes sense. You know, it's not torquey or jerky or anything. It just has a really nice, smooth, through the PAS levels 1 through 5, it's like really smooth and gradual. It's not instant and jerky. So it's kind of nice. It makes it a nice ride. Now, another thing that I'm not too fond of is this control pad here. It's just plasticky, and you can see I already caught my hand on it once, and ooh, I just kicked it in PAS 1, but I don't know why it took off. I don't know if I put it in like a walk mode maybe. Let me turn this thing off. So anyway, you can see here that I caught my thumb on this and it kind of pulled it, and I thought I almost broke it. But other than that, these buttons are rubberized and they seem pretty good. It's just these I wish were either rubberized or just don't like how that's a little floppy right there. But let's take a look at some of the other cool things on this bike that I noticed. And this kickstand here, it's more of a plasticky kickstand. From here all the way down is plastic. But what's cool about this is there's a little 4mm Allen screw on the back, and you can adjust this kickstand up or down to give you any angle you need. On my wife's bike here, ever since I got her bike, it seems like the kickstand was, maybe it was bent when I got it, but the bike sits pretty much almost straight up and down, which I'm always afraid it's going to fall over if you get a good gust of wind. I adjusted this one down so that it actually sits a little bit more this way, and that would be a nice feature to see on the Lectrics in the future, maybe an adjustable kickstand so that you could put it to wherever you need it. Because like I said, I've always wanted to take that off of there and see if I can maybe bend it right here to try to get it to angle more. But that was one of the initial concerns that I've seen when I got this bike initially. And like I said, it might have got bent in shipping, but I think I've seen a few other people complain about that as well. We're gonna go ahead here, ride a little bit more, and catch up with you guys again in a couple miles. All right guys, so I'm gonna try to go up this hill of rock here. It's about 45 degrees on both sides. This bike's rated for a 30-degree slope, so we're in gear 1 PAS 5, and we're gonna see what this 500-watt mid-drive has, what kind of power it has. So I haven't tried this yet, so hopefully I don't kill myself. Well, went right up it, but bottomed out. Went right up it, no problem. Did the motor hit? Yeah. Oh, well, it's good. Nothing on it. If it wasn't so steep at the top right there, it would have went right down the other side, no problem, but powered right up it. Wonder if I could do that on the Lectric. I don't know. I think we should try it. Yeah. Of course she would. I doubt it's gonna do it, but I don't know. I don't know how to try this or not. And we do have a good bit of weight on here too, so okay, here goes. It's a little bit heavy in the rear. I think it would have made it. I think it would have made it, but it's a little bit heavy in the rear because I got this bag with a bunch of stuff in it, and it's kind of making the front end want to come up. but I think it might have made it, if not for that. All right, so that's enough of that for now. All right, so one thing I noticed about this bike is that when you are in PAS1 and you hit the throttle, you can see here I'm in PAS1, hitting the throttle, and it's only gonna give you enough power. Whatever power your PAS1 gives you with pedal assist is what your throttle is gonna give you. That would have been nice if, like the Lectric, you hit the throttle and it's full-time 100% throttle no matter what PAS level you're in. That is a little hard to get used to. I do love the Lectrics for that feature. I have found one workaround for that, and that's if you're in PAS5 and you hold down the mode button on the negative arrow, it will put it in basically like a walk mode. And then when you let off, it will actually disable your motor, but your throttle will still work as long as you're rotating your pedals. As soon as you stop rotating your pedals, then your motor will start working again with the pedal assist. So that's a pretty cool feature. I do like that because then you could just use the throttle or stop your cadence sensor of your pedals at any time. But it is kind of a little inconvenient and annoying that you can't have full throttle all the time like you can with the Lectrics. So I don't know if that was hard for you to understand what I'm talking about, but I'll try to show you here for anybody interested in these bikes. I'm in PAS1 right now, and you can see that pedaling a nice speed of 6 miles per hour, 7 miles per hour, and nice steady speed. You hit the throttle, it doesn't go. I mean, it just doesn't go. Now, if I kick it into PAS5, it's gonna take off, but if I hold the down arrow and let go, it disables the motor. So now I'm pedaling solely, even though it's still in PAS5, I'm pedaling solely with the cranks. It's not contributing any power, but my throttle still works at full level. Which is awesome. I wish the Lectrics would do this and give you full throttle when you're in PAS0, but it doesn't. This one doesn't either, but this is kind of a workaround for that. And right now I'm pedaling fully manual, no power in the motor, and hit the throttle, full throttle. PAS5 full throttle. Now, to stop this, the only thing you need to do is, as soon as I quit pedaling and then start pedaling again, then that PAS sensor kicks in and you will have torque again on your pedals as soon as you start pedaling. See that? So torque on the pedals, hold the down button for like 4 to 5 seconds, it shuts the motor off, and now this is just manual pedaling. You can see I'm manually pedaling in PAS5, throttle's working. And then watch, as soon as I stop pedaling or pedal just slightly backwards, then pedal again, and it kicks up with the PAS. That's a pretty awesome feature. I do like that. That's pretty cool. Like I said, it just annoys me that the throttle is not fully there in PAS1 like the Lectrics. I wish it would be full throttle all the time, no matter what PAS level you were in. Cruising across this pretty cool bridge here, going over into West Newton. There's supposed to be some live bands and stuff over here, so we're just heading over to check it out. Never actually been over here on the bikes yet, so this is something a little bit new. There's the Yauk River, the fam.
Gotta make a left. All right, get in front of your dad.
All right, guys, we found the place. So another pretty cool thing that I've noticed on this bike, which is another awesome feature, is a USB port on the side of the display that you could plug your phone into, and it charges your phone right from the display. So that's pretty cool. A lot of you know that I use one of these on the Lectric that Velcros right here, and it's a portable power bank, which works really great, but this just eliminates that and uses the power of the battery to charge your phone. Another nice thing of this is that you can use this to power a light if you get a light that has a, you know, powered by USB or whatnot. So that's a really nice feature. I really like that.
We're here on the bike trail. We went out as far as we're gonna go. We're gonna head back to the car. And Jeremiah was talking about how much he likes this new Rambo bike he's got. And I said, get off, I gotta give it a try. So I have not got on this bike yet. This is gonna be the first time. I'm a little nervous because I'm used to my step through. The seat is down as far as it'll go with this rack on here. So let's see. I'm under 5'4", so let's see. Yeah, that's a little bit of a struggle. But once you've gotten over the frame, I feel like it'll be okay, even though like I'm already missing my suspension seat post because it's like solid, no give at all. So we're gonna take it for a spin and see what I think of the new bike. Okay. Yeah, so when the PAS kicks on and off, it's way smoother than the Lectric, because sometimes if I have the PAS on and I like am not pedaling for a while, I'm just coasting and the PAS is on, and then I like make a pedal rotation and the PAS kicks on, like if I have forgotten that I have the PAS on, you could definitely feel it kick in. But with this, I mean, you can't even feel it kick in and disengage. Like it's way more smooth, like seamless.
Like more gradual.
Yeah, it's definitely more gradual.
The only thing that I don't like though is when you hit the throttle now and you're only in PAS1, it doesn't give you full throttle. It only gives you the same percentage of.
Oh yeah, that's like, that's nothing. I'm in PAS1 and that's a throttle and I like nothing.
Yeah, don't you wish it was like if you needed it was there?
Yeah, like if you're in a situation where you just want to like hurry up and like get some speed, like this is not doing anything more for me than just making a pedal rotation.
Yeah. Like if a dog starts chasing you, trust me, it's happened. You're gonna want that throttle.
Yeah, I just feel like the PAS is smoother when it engages and disengages. It is a more like forward stance, which is okay for right now. I don't know that.
Yeah, but I also changed your handlebars on your bike.
Yeah.
So if I put a set of swept back handlebars on there, it would probably be a lot better. I
feel like they're lower also though. Like, yeah. Does this have an adjustable stem?
No, it doesn't adjust up or down. That's one negative.
Yeah, and these handlebars do have a rise on them a little bit. What do you think? 1.5 inch, 2 inch rise?
Yeah, a little bit. But
and so even if they were swept, you know, it would have to be pretty significant, because I feel like I would be most comfortable here.
Yeah.
And look at that in comparison to where we're at. Like that would take a lot.
How tall were you? 5'4"?
Almost 5'4".
Yeah, 5'3.5", 5'4".
5'3.5". I lie and say I'm 5'4".
So yeah, even though this bike looks a lot bigger than the Lectric, it is bigger overall, but it is actually about the same weight. They say it's 59 pounds on the website, but I kind of tried to weigh it. That doesn't say if it's with or without the battery. I think that's without the battery. And I think with the battery, it's somewhere around 65 pounds. So that's somewhere within a pound or two of what the Lectric XP weighs. So they're very similar in weight. Smoked by the Lectric, full throttle. All right, so we switched bikes back. You glad to be back on your bike?
Yeah, definitely.
Why?
Okay, so first of all, the step-through feature, it was so much easier to get on this bike than it was the Rambo, just because of the step-through. But like overall, the whole experience, I'm just more comfortable ergonomically with the layout of the bike.
So is there anything that you like better about this bike from being on it?
Yeah, the way the PAS kicks in. I mean, I still don't think it's worth $2,000, but if I had to say, you know, where do you think that this bike is worth more than the Lectric? And I would say the PAS kicking on and off, how fluid it is.
I agree.
It makes it worth more. Does it make it worth $2,000? Not in my opinion, but it does make it worth more.
All right, guys, I would say that was a pretty successful ride today on a nice, beautiful day. First ride of the year on the Rambo Cruiser and the Lectric Step Through. If you guys found this video enjoyable, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down below because they really help my channel out a lot. And if you're not already subscribed, I hope you consider doing so, and I will see you guys around on the next one. Thanks for watching.